Tomorrow marks 1 year since 5 people were killed in a mass shooting in Raleigh's Hedingham community. In the months that followed, the victims' loved ones have had to navigate life in a new normal clouded by grief.
Tom Karnatz is the father of 3 boys. On October 13th, 2022, his wife Sue went for her daily run and never came home. For the first time, Karnatz is speaking out about that day and the difficult year that's been, and tells WRAL's Ashley Rowe how he works to honor his wife every day.
She ran that ways north, and when I went to the trail, I went to the south.
On the afternoon of October 13th, 2022, Tom Karnatz and his wife Susan did what they would do most days, go for a run along the Neuse River Trail. They set off in opposite directions an hour apart.
There were helicopters in the sky. And
on that day, Tom noticed a lot of commotion.
And when I got home, I said, "Oh, is Sue back yet?" But they said, "No, she's not back yet."
As we walk on the same trail a year later, Tom tells me about his growing concern when she wasn't responding to his texts.
At this point, you could not have fathomed that she was shot.
No, I assumed at that point that she was just on the far side of what was closed off, and so she had no way of getting home.
Tom recalls leaving home with his dad towards the heavy police presence to meet Sue. After a few hours of waiting, officers told him Sue was one of the 5 victims killed by a gunman on a shooting spree.
The single toughest thing that I had to do in this whole thing was after that, my dad and I went home, and I told the boys their mom was dead. There's no way to sugarcoat that.
Must have been the hardest moment of your life.
Yeah.
In an instant, life for Tom and their 3 boys, now 15, 14, and 11 years old, lost some of its light.
We don't have as much joy, and kind of just knowing that bothers me.
How has that process been for you of just trying to move forward in this new normal?
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one to explain. Sometimes people say, "Oh, will it get easier?" Or, does it get easier? And I don't know that it does. I guess you get a little more used to that Sue's not here, but I still miss her as much as I did before.
Mm-hmm.
A year later, a makeshift memorial still stands where Sue was killed on the Greenway behind the Hedingham neighborhood. People have been leaving painted stones and messages of love.
And so I run by that probably a couple times a week. And, sometimes I'll just say hi. And sometimes I go by and I feel sorry for myself. And other times I am happy for all the love that we had. And sometimes, a lot of times, I just kind of run by, like I said, and say hi, and it's not a big deal. So
it's clear from our conversation that Tom isn't interested in closely following the criminal case in the courts. 15-year-old Austin Thompson will be tried as an adult for murder and attempted murder.
I know he can't get the death penalty, but even if that were possible, it wouldn't matter to me, because it doesn't help me at all one way or the other.
He is instead focused on harnessing Sue's strength, patience, and kindness as he tries to give their boys the best life he can.
One of the things that was, I knew about Sue when she was alive is that she was very kind and considerate and compassionate. The best wife and best friend that I could imagine. I know it's like a little drop of water in the ocean, but I figure if I can be kinder to other people, it's not going to change the world, but it might make somebody's life a little better, and I'd like to see more people do that.
Ashley Rowe, WRAL News, Raleigh.
What a way to honor her.